Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Jonathan, aka Mountain Body, and it's my weekly check in for the Artist's Way, week 4. Let's get into it. This week may find you grappling with changing self definition. The essays, tasks, and exercises are designed to catapult you into productive introspection and integration of new self awareness. This may be both very difficult and extremely exciting for you. Warning, do not skip the tool of reading deprivation. Spoiler alert, I did skip the tool. I'm just going to do it next week. We'll talk about it. All right, first up, how many days this week did you do your morning pages? I did 6 out of 7. Yesterday was a difficult day emotionally, so I only wrote half a page yesterday. I felt like that's all that I was capable of. Literally in this chapter, Julia talks about how whenever we're on the verge of a discovery in the morning pages where a bunch of really intense emotions pop up, then it's normal to have a huge resistance to the morning pages and that big revelation that may be developing on the page. Whenever I first read that chapter at the beginning of the week, I was like, oh, that's not me. I've been showing up, pushing through my feelings regardless of how bad I don't want to do something, whether it be film a video or do the artist date or do the morning pages. I've been pretty good at showing up and pushing through. However, yesterday, it was like straight from the book. There was a situation that was really, eating my lunch, and I didn't want to approach the pages and write about it. If I'm being honest on the pages, I can't just write and act like everything is okay. I wish I would have pushed through and wrote the pages and given myself the gift of reflection in the moment, but it was hard and I could only write half a page. So the feeling that I'm feeling right now of, damn, I wish I just would have written it out on the page and got it out of my head is a good lesson. And, whenever the next intense emotional situation presents itself, I'll be sure to push through and give myself that gift of getting it out on the page. But on the other pages, my morning pages felt really solid. Showing up every day to convene with my capital S self and my higher power has been really empowering. And each day that goes by that I write the pages, it kind of boosts my self-esteem. Not only does it strengthen the time that I spend with my higher power, it also is showing myself day by day that I'm capable of being consistent and being honest with myself and my higher power on the page. Affirmations are continuing to be very helpful in my morning pages. I skimmed over my pages this week in order to answer this question: how was the experience of morning pages for you this week? And it's so easy to see the patterns of my thought, a lot more easier than I anticipated. So I think going forward at the end of each week, I'm going to read through all 7 of my morning pages and just identify the patterns that in retrospect are really clear, but in the moment I don't see them. So that's something that I'm going to try next week, is reading through the morning pages and seeing what are the main situations that are consistently popping up every day. Okay, next question. Did you do your artist date next week? What did you do and how did it feel? So I didn't do like a formal artist date this week where I said, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to set out to do this thing. But I did go to a few events by myself this week, a concert and 2 other DJ shows that, different little organizations had put on. One was at Press Coffee. That was so fucking cool. The other was seeing Los Eclipses at Paper Tiger, which was amazing. They're so fantastic. I never thought that I would get the opportunity to see them, and it was a free show, and they were so good. I was dancing my ass off. The last one was an event called I Love Community Gardens at the Brick Blue Star Arts Complex. I got to see my friend Aiden DJ, and it was just a lot of fun. While I didn't do a formal artist date, I do consider these things that I went to by myself, like spending quality time with my artist, just felt really empowering because I went because I wanted to go and I wanted to experience the music. And, I invited my friends and no one could go. And I said, that's totally fine. I'm still going to go. It all felt very intentional and boosted my self-esteem. And I just danced like no one was watching and just expressing myself through the movement and really just being focused on the music and the experience as a whole and just taking it in, it was really empowering. And I think one thing that I'm learning is doing things intentionally and following through with them is very empowering for me, because not having intention for the actions that I take throughout my day doesn't feel like I'm in control of where my day is going. But whenever I have a plan and follow through with that plan, not only do I feel like I have a bit more control over my days and my time and my experience, but I also feel like I'm doing things for me and keeping my word to myself, which is a skill that I think is essential for me to develop in all areas of my life. So, no formal artist state, but I did go to dance around town today. I just went bopping around and it was so much fun. All right, next question. Did you experience any synchronicity this week? What was it? So, yes, I did actually. I'm always thinking about how I want to be part of a community of artists so bad. And whenever I go to these events, I'm just so like, how do I get involved? How do I become how do I get the opportunity to perform? How do I help out? How do I get in with this community of creators and just be a part of and have fun and create things and be inspired and inspire others? So that's just something that has been running through my head as I go to these events. And so I posted a video on my story of one of these events, and someone reached out to me and was like, hey, can you send us that video? And it was the person that put on one of the events. So I sent it to them and they were like, thanks, thank you so much for coming out. And I was like, absolutely, it was so much fun. And I was like, oh my gosh, a connection with someone running the event. Boom, right there. He followed me, I followed him back. And then someone else that helped put on the event followed me and I followed them back. That to me is peak synchronicity, sending out a vibration into the world, asking the universe, how can I make this happen? And then a door is presented to me and I just walk through it. I think for one of these events, they had a projector and it was playing over the DJs, and they were playing like a visualizer from YouTube. And so I'm thinking that I'm going to reach out to that person and be like, hey, I'm learning Touch Designer. I can provide some really sick visuals for your next event instead of having to use YouTube. So I think that's another thing that I'm going to like gun for, and I'll report back to that next week. I'm just going to do it. What's the harm? What do I have to lose? Nothing, but I have a lot to gain. So I'm just going to reach out. What's the harm? All right, next question. Were there any other issues this week that you consider significant for your recovery? Describe them. Yes. So I think vaping in general is taking a larger toll on my mind and soul than I realize. It zaps my dopamine, it releases cortisol, and it creates a veil of separation between me and the world around me through instant pleasure and distraction. And it kind of cuts me off from my physical senses in a way that's just not good. I'm just a really sensitive person. And so I think, while some people can vape all day up and down and be fine with it and function quote unquote normally, I need to accept that I'm not one of those people. And my mental clarity is just a lot better when I don't vape. It's just, I've quit vaping like 10 times over the past 2 years. The longest I went was like 100 days. I think that's something I'm going to have to convene with my higher power about, because honestly, I feel pretty powerless against that. It's making it difficult for me to focus. And in all areas of my life, not just the work that I'm doing for this, focus is my most essential tool. Where your focus goes, your energy flows, as they say. Oh, also, update from last week. This is my little pot that I painted. It was fired in the kiln and it looks so good. I'm so happy with how it turned out. What should I put in it? Okay, cool. Let's also talk a little bit about the tasks for this week. All right, the first task. Describe your ideal environment in one paragraph. So my ideal environment is like a modern concrete bohemian vibe. Super tall ceilings with stone and wood accents, huge circular windows, soft and plush furniture and fabric art over the walls to balance the sturdy warmth of the concrete and stone. A huge desk, like corner desk, like, kind of like this, but like freaking huge because I have a lot of stuff on my desk at all moments of every single day. One of those circular conversation pins are so fucking sick. You know, really nice speakers, really nice monitor, and then like a deep yellow and red lighting just to make it super freaking cozy. And there's a lot of houses in like Oaxaca, Mexico that are just so perfect in my head, and that's my ideal environment. Write your own artist's prayer. This is my artist prayer. God, please open my heart and mind to the flow of your creativity. Please remove fear and doubt and replace them with knowledge and power. Boom. Plan an extended artist date for yourself. I'd love to rent a cute Airbnb in like a small town in West Texas, preferably near water. I know there's not a lot of water out there. You know, that I want the Airbnb or wherever I rent to be really, really nice inside, because I do want to spend most of my time creating new music or finishing songs, like just take a weekend and just focus on working on my music. And then for like breaks throughout the weekend, you know, I can go swimming or take a hike or go on a trail run and it'd just be nonstop creating for a weekend, no distractions, just me and God. Okay, next, time travel. Describe yourself at 80. What did you do at after 50 that you enjoyed? Be very specific. So me at 80, brimming with I don't know why this is funny. It's because I feel vulnerable, but whatever. You know, just having like a really sleek style, I would imagine that as I grow older, my style would get more and more refined, you know, very modern and of the times, but also essentially different. I'm going to be, you know, educated and experienced. I want a huge social circle, always on the phone with friends or mentees, offering guidance or just talking about life, being a great conversationalist, but also a great listener, still creating, making new friends, and learning new things about my craft and about myself. I think one of the things I want to emphasize there is that I never want to stop learning, whether it be about music or multimedia art or about myself. I always want to keep that really, really open and curious mind. Next question. What did you do after 50 that you enjoyed? Be specific. I mentor new musicians and visual artists. I continue sharing my artistic journey and creative work through blogging and social media and preferably in-person communities. After 50, I run an ultra marathon, and then I put in parentheses again because I definitely want to run an ultra marathon before I turn 50. A few, preferably. I would love to be a judge at a film festival, consult on stage design and visuals for artists and music festivals, hike the PCT or the Appalachian Trail, live abroad for a few years, perhaps Japan or Spain, continue releasing music and creating music videos for myself and other artists. Next question. Write a letter from you at 80 to you at your current age. So this is my letter. I just, whatever came out, I put it on the page. Dear Jonathan, you're almost 30. The life we've lived so far is gloriously full and is truly a miracle. The growth we've experienced stems from our decision to get and stay sober and work the 12 steps. Never stop. The more you fully trust God, no matter how difficult you think it may be, the more room He has to take care of you. No other man is your source of love. God is. The more you rely on men for love, the less room God has to occupy your heart. Give and receive love freely and deeply, but never forget that God is the infinite wellspring from which all love flows to you and through you. Pursue your music like it's your full-time job, like your life depends on it, like it pays your bills. Because not only does it do that, it fuels the fire in your soul. It is your purpose. Teach. You are a natural teacher. Find what you need and transmit it to those who need it too. Invest in yourself, the beauty of your physical spaces, the equipment your artist needs, the time your work deserves. You are your priority. Never stop writing, running, praying, learning, searching, connecting. Follow the still small voice. You are on the right path. In God's time, it is so. That's my letter. Love that. That's my week 4 check-in. Follow me on Instagram, subscribe, and I'll see you next week.